All right. Just a flip of the switch, right? Electricity in America has become so common, most rarely give it a second thought. Some may even say it is a right and that the government somehow owes it to us. Now, just for a minute, imagine your life without it. All the simple tasks we take for granted are now not quite so simple. For less than $8 a day, less than the cost of a chicken strip meal, most of us can heat and cool our homes, cook our food, wash our clothes, bathe in hot water, and let's not forget our precious electronics. The list truly goes on and on. I've worked in the power generation industry for over a decade and a half, from an entry level position up to middle management. During this time, I've earned a great appreciation of what is required by employees and equipment to produce electricity Americans so love today. So, today I'll discuss three basic things needed to produce electricity. First is the fuel, second, the equipment needed to convert that fuel to electricity, and third is the employees. It really is all about the fuel. There are many fuel options to choose from fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gas, or renewables like wind, solar, and hydro. Other options include nuclear and geothermal. Most fossil fuels and renewables, for that matter, derive their energy from the sun. So if you think about it, years ago, uh, the plants absorb the sun's energy. They use photosynthesis to store that energy. Some of those plants decayed and became fossil fuels. Some of those plants were eaten by smaller animals, and those animals were eaten by larger animals, which is also became fossil fuels. As far as renewables, uh, the wind for wind energy is produced by the sun's rays heating and cooling the surface of the earth, and solar power itself is pretty self-explanatory. Hydro wouldn't be possible without the sun heating up water, evaporating it and making it rain. So there's a lot of debate over what is the best fuel for the planet and the customers. Currently, 60% of America and 80% of the world's electricity is produced by using some type of fossil fuel. A few characteristics of a good fuel would be low cost compared to the amount of stored energy it contains, low impact to the environment, and being readily available. So once you've selected your fuel source, it's time to extract its energy and convert that into electricity. The equipment needed to make this conversion can be vary widely based on the type of fuel chosen. Most of the world's electricity is produced using a steam cycle. This is where the chosen fuel is used to boil water to create steam, which drives a turbine which is connected to a generator. When the steam exits the turbine, it's cooled and condensed back into water to begin the steam cycle again. So a power plant is really just an energy conversion station. Uh, you burn whatever fuel you've chosen in a furnace, which releases that chemical energy stored in the fuel to thermal energy. That thermal energy is transferred to the water in the boilers and boils that water into steam. So then the thermal energy in the steam is converted to mechanical energy in the turbine. The mechanical energy of the turbine is then transferred to the generator, which converts it to electrical energy. Large boilers, pumps, heat exchangers, pipes, conveyors, turbines, and generators are needed to make this conversion process happen. So lastly, and what I feel is the most important component to producing electricity are the employees. It requires months of technical training to be able to operate the systems required to produce electricity. Controlling such large amounts of energy is not a simple task. It must be done precisely and safely. High pressure steam up to 2400 psi and 1050 degrees, and hot boiler gas up to 2600 degrees can both be very dangerous. None of this equipment needed to produce electricity operates itself. Behind every megawatt of electricity generated, a crew of dedicated men and women are operating it, rain or shine, hot or cold, 24/7. So today I've discussed three basic things required to produce electricity: the fuel, the equipment, and the employees. All of us use electricity daily. I hope this information may have piqued your interest and you may consider pursuing a career in power generation. So remember this summer when you're floating in a cool swimming pool with a cold drink in your hand, or on a Christmas morning when you wake up in your warm house to enjoy a hot cup of coffee with your family, please remember that behind these luxuries are people making them possible, and it's much, much more than just a flip of the switch. Thanks.